As we do continue on with conversations here in the studio, we also do have our reporter David Ejo joining us on ground, and he's also having a critical conversation in the music sector. This is a sector that has actually received a lot of backlash related to elections, and they're saying some of these musicians have been paid by the ruling government in order not to deal with the other presidential candidates. I most recently saw one parliamentarian candidate, Lucy, having a song to him. So every candidate wants to have a song about them. The pressure is too much, and how is the music industry handling this in order to deliver and yet stay true to their own causes? David Ejo, good morning.
Good morning to you, Priscilla, Regina Naluoga, and viewers of NTV. I'm coming to you live from Mbarara City, where the NUP presidential candidate put up his night ahead of the campaign rallies today. Today, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu is scheduled to campaign in Mbarara district, and after which have his final rally in Mbarara City. But one of the key factors we are here, to discuss today is the use of entertainment in campaign. You will recall for a fact that from the start of the campaigns in at least most of the camps, the aspect of entertainment to cheer up crowds has been largely used by these presidential candidates. For instance, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, on his end, is traversing his campaign trails with a section of Ugandan artists, the likes of Eddie Kenzo, the likes of Bebe Cool, and local artists around, to see how they boost, support among the crowd and all that. That is not different. Even on the side of the NUP campaign trail, I've noticeably seen a couple of artists, hitting up the stage, the likes of King Saha, of Kabako, the likes of Palazzo, and so many others. Now, music is one of the key factors that plays a big role when it comes to pulling crowds and when it comes to communicating a message. And in this kind of political season that we are in, music is one of those factors that, rounds up the crowd, is one of those key factors that, when you get to use music, you speak to multitudes of people, because it's a form of entertainment, but also a form of education, and that rounds it up as an edutainment format. I'm joined by one of the legends in the music industry. He's a producer, Sir Dan Magic. Sir Dan Magic has been a long-time producer of the NUP presidential candidate Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, the time he was active in his music career, but he's also moved with him forward into the political landscape of the People Power movement and the National Unity Platform. Dan Magic is famously known for the campaign hit that is going around, Bobby Kyagulanyi. He's the man behind that campaign hit. But this particular song is one, for those of us who are covering the NUP campaign trail, this particular hit is one that I've noticed pulls out a lot of crowds, because Kyagulanyi's campaigns are characterized by processions where a multitude of supporters traverse with him up to the campaign rally, and this is one of the songs that has been used. And Dan Magic, this brings me to my question. What was the creative behind the sound Bobby, and how has it helped you as a camp when it comes to pulling crowds and when it comes to communicating to your supporters, the campaign message that the NUP is pushing?
For starters, good morning, viewers. Good morning, Ijo. I'm Sir Dan Magic, a music producer, a storyteller, who believes that music is not all about entertainment, but it's also about edutainment. Yeah. In times like this, where the whole generation or the whole country has been suppressed by toxic politics of division, tribalism, and etc., we find ourselves as creatives being part of the struggle itself, to help empower the society, unite the society, bring them together through music, because we believe that it's only the piece of art we are supposed to use to create unity, love, preach everything that is positive amongst the people. Yeah.
When you talk of preaching unity and love, we all know that to some extent music is a uniting factor. That is for a fact. Now, from the time the campaigns kicked off on the 29th up to where we are, you've been preaching unity, you've been preaching love, you've been preaching, discipline. To what extent have you achieved this?
Well, it's visible. It's visible. I can give you as in case scenario at this time. When you read and look at our campaign trails, in most cases we are followed by people donned in NRM t-shirts coming into NUP processions. That is part of it. You can see we now in the western part of the country, with the reception that we have been receiving everywhere. It would never be the case if we never used our art to make sure that we bring people collectively. At least with music, you can preach anything. You can at least remind Ugandans that we are still the same. We are still united, even amid these different political divides. Yeah, even amid these different tribes, different cultures. But when we use music, you see people collectively coming together. And when you look at the crowds that we are pulling, that all stands as an example of what we are doing. Yeah.
Daniel, there are notable examples of people in the music industry, both international, regional in Africa, but also domestically here, who have used music to champion a message of change. It could be political, it could be health, it could be any sphere of life. To what extent is the Ugandan music industry here in Uganda doing that? Is it just music for fun, or is it just, are they contributing anything when it comes to speaking to the crowd through music, in your own perspective as a creative in this industry?
To me, to a larger extent, I would say yes, because if I look at our presidential candidate, my own president himself, Bobi Wine, it's through his music that has made us achieve all these political gains that we've gotten at the moment. And when you look at when you look at the society itself, it's music that has helped unite them together. Just like the Uganda just like our national flag, music too plays that strong role in unity. Yes, to a greater extent we have achieved it musically. Yeah. Even besides other artists singing and praising the other side of the oppressor. But when you look at the society, the majority of the people are suffering. The majority of people are facing a lot of atrocities. I mean, it's been 40 years of dictatorship, 40 years of poor governance. But at the end of the day, it's only music that has collectively brought all of them together. Yeah.
When we dig deep into the campaign trail, we are now about 2 months or so into the campaign trail ever since it started, and you have been trailing with your presidential candidate. In your own assessment, to what extent has your presidential candidate Robert Kyagulanyi achieved in putting out his manifesto, his, I think, about 10 or 11 point manifesto, at least across the sub-regions he has moved?
Well, to my say, I'm like, it's not all about him in making sure that he has achieved the publishing or the pushing of our manifesto, the Uganda's manifesto, to the rest of the country. I mean, we've been using our art, we've been using music to help us into doing that. For instance, we've seen artists like Walukaga, Fefe Busi, trying to help in breaking down the manifestos through music to send it deep to the local person down there. at the end of the day, you find it that it's all about art, the creative helping us into doing all that. Yes, that has helped us in achieving everywhere we're going across the country. His only work is to just stand, preach unity, or continue painting a little bit of the manifesto, but we have the art that is helping us push that across the country. Yeah.
You did mention about using artists like Walukaga to put out your manifesto, and this brings me to an interesting question. There's been the Bobby Wine effect into politics. When he came into the political scene, he sort of opened the door for other artists into the political scene. After Bobby Wine came in, Hilary Chiaga and others, the likes of Rachel Magola, these are all in parliament. But even after the last parliament, the parliament that we are soon getting into, we have a significant contestants, specifically from your party, the National Unity Platform, who are seeking political seats, and these are artists. Matthias Walukaga himself, Nina Nankunda, commonly known as Nina Rose, but also some people in the creatives that attempted and perhaps didn't get the party card for one reason or two. To what extent does music influence politics, that someone says, okay, I'm now exiting my music career to join politics?
You can never exit music. Music is in your blood. It's part of you. It's something that you've been doing all your life. Yeah, you can never exit it. But having mentioned that, I would also tell you that the person who is driving this revolution is an artist. Is an artist, is an inspiration to the rest of the people. So you'll find yourself at the end of the day that a lot of artists will follow the same footstep of what he is doing. You understand? Then there's also a factor that we must put into consideration, that there reaches a time that, for instance, in Uganda, there was a time where the lawyers were so much into the political scene. There came in the doctors into the political scene, the teachers too into the political scene, the elites into the political scene. Of course, they tried their level best to push it to where it was supposed to go. But in times like this, you find yourself that you end up using the powers you have within you. We artists believe that we are powerful in the society. We believe that we are a reflection of the society. You understand? So you'll get that when we are in a revolution like this, we shall use our tool in the industry to make sure that we push the revolution ahead there, and you'll get that many artists will join the mantle to dislodge the dictatorship in this country.
Thank you so much. Dan, my very last question before I hand over back to my colleague. How has the campaign trail been to you so far? You've been moving with your candidate, and what are some of the challenges in brief, and what are your expectations today and the rest of the trail?
I'll look at, first of all, the positive side. To me, the campaign on my side is moving on perfectly, because I am achieving my goals to inspire, to preach unity, to preach love, to make sure that Ugandans are united across all political divides, to culture, tribe, etc. We are perfectly achieving that, dislodging the barrier of tribalism that has been painted and planted, the seed of tribalism across the country. At least we have tried our level best to show and paint to the Ugandans that Uganda belongs to all of us. We are Ugandans. Tomorrow, when Museveni is no more, we shall remain here as Ugandans, as a united force. So we need to love each other. Well, we have achieved that. Going to the other aspect, we've been facing a lot of challenges from the security forces, several blockages from accessing our main rally centers that have been making us pass a longer distance, a place where you're supposed to spend 20 minutes or by road to go there. They make sure that at least they create some other further path for us to access there. Yes, we've been facing a lot of arrests. Several of our comrades have been arrested even as we speak now. Last night, they arrested 20 of our boys. Yeah. But having said all that, today we are expecting our people in Mbarara to turn up, to come and listen to the message of revolution, the message of unity, the message of love, the message of change in our country. I believe that we are a young population, we are youth, and if we only come together and listen to all these messages and collectively we play a part in changing this country, we can achieve it and have a better country as Ugandans in the next years to come.
Thank you so much, Sadan Magic, for your time. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. That has been the conversation of music and politics intertwined, especially in this campaign season we are in, leading up to the 2026 general elections slated for 15th of January next year. Allow me cross over to my colleague Herbert Kamoga to bring us up to speed with updates he has over there. Kamoga, take it on.
Yes, thank you so much, David Ijo, and thanks for the conversation all the way from Mbarara. Now I am joining you live from Luwero district, and away from politics and music, we are now joined, we're going to discuss about...
Up to speed with updates he has over there. Kamoga,